99.7 FM. This is Geek Squad with your girl Adobea Biritwum. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. MTN everywhere you go. We are still in the month of March, Ghana month on Joy 99.7 FM. Currently, we are live on YouTube and on Facebook and on X at Joy 99.7 FM. Tonight we're going to have an interesting conversation. If you remember Anansi stories, those times by the fireside, I mean, there were things that we were watching back then as kids. I don't even know whether kids of today get to do that. Kwasasa and Kida Fest and things. Anansi stories. There are a group of people doing amazing things with that, creating animation with what we have as Ghanaian history and folktales, and we will be having a conversation with them. But before we do that, I have two amazing women, and there's an upcoming event. In fact, one of them was my guest on the show just last 2 weeks in the person of Akosia Osei, the convener of Future of Work, and also the team lead for Be Tech Connected. This evening, I'm going to have a conversation with her and another team member. They are going to be telling us about the upcoming event that they are hosting this weekend. Akosia, you're welcome back.
Thank you, Perpetual.
I'm going to allow you to just say a little about yourself. Maybe someone didn't listen to us the last time. So just a brief introduction, and then also Nana would also introduce herself quickly, and then we can get into the purpose of the event that is upcoming.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. So maybe Perpetual Mr. but Nefwa is our partner and our consultant for the Future Work event. So.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think I was here last 2 weeks. So in terms of my background, I do business development and tech sales. So I consult for tech companies. Yes, and for Future of Work, I'm the lead for the project. And it's an initiative of Be Tech Connected, because basically we are bridging the knowledge and skill gap between academia and the industry. So Future of Work is an initiative to help us push that agenda by creating a common platform to have people in the industry support this cause and also make opportunities available for these young people. So it's a pleasure to join this evening, Perpetua. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me. Nana, Ifwa, please, a quick introduction and what you also do. I've been corrected. Please give us some more details about the role you're playing.
Thank you so much, Perpetual. My name is Nani Fwabenial, and I am the founder of Tech Chef Africa. And also, I double as the project consultant for the Future of Work 2.0. So for Tech Chef Africa, basically what we do is to promote wellness, recreation, and mental health for tech professionals. I'm glad to be here and share a stage with you.
Okay, so what I know about Future of Work, this particular one is the 2.0.
Right.
So one was done.
Yes, that was in 2023.
Okay, so for someone who may be attending, I think, what is Be Tech Connected doing to equip the participants with, I mean, in terms of practical tools for success? I mean, could you share some success stories based on what has already been done and then what people can expect?
So one of our focus areas is to create a very common platform for potential mentors and these young people. And it was very open from the very first edition we had, where we actually had some young people getting mentors from the first edition, which were predominantly the speakers that were on ground.
Okay.
I mean, we had success stories as they having clarity on the path to follow, because again, the conversations curated for the event is very, very targeted and focused. So because everything we are trying to do is to help these young people, either we are equipping them with knowledge, either we are equipping them with skill, or either we are giving them access to networking opportunities, and also making opportunities available in the tech ecosystem open to them. And that was evident in the first edition. I mean, we had some speakers reach out to us telling us that the young people have connected with them on LinkedIn and sent them messages in their DMs. It was amazing that when we didn't do it in 2024, we had people asking about it, from speakers to audience.
And why is it not happening?
I mean, why is it not happening? Yeah. Because it was actually an impactful event. What we had envisioned to achieve was achieved. So it was something people were looking out for, and I believe 2.02, there's been a lot of buzz and conversations around it, and we believe it will be a success as well.
We've seen all that is happening around that. So I'm coming back to you, Nani, for, you mentioned that you are the founder of Tech Chef. So why did Tech Chef network decide to partner with Future of Work 2.0, and what are some key initiatives that you have for the tech community?
Okay, so actually, Future of Work 1.0, interestingly, I think Akosia reached out that, hey, Nanefwa, this is a project that I am initiating on the ground. I would like you to come on board. And as at then, I was actually also producing a show for Tech Chef Africa.
Okay.
But when she called, I was like, no, this is an initiative that I want to be part of, so I just hopped on. So Future of Work 2.0, when she reached out again, I'm like, definitely anything that has to do with we creating impact for the young tech professionals is something that I would love to partner with. So basically why Tech Chef Africa partnered with Future of Work 2.0 is that we are committed to promoting wellness, recreation, and mental health for tech enthusiasts, entrepreneurs.
It's very important, yeah?
Right.
Yes, entrepreneurs and digital nomads, innovators. So as we already know, in a fast-paced digital world, normally people find it difficult to maintain a healthier work-life balance. So Future of Work, in partnership with Tech Chef Africa, I believe that aligns with Tech Chef mission as a company. So we believe that coming together to collaborate with them in this initiative will help us aid the youth with the right resources and tools that will aid them succeed in the tech ecosystem.
Got you. So, based on the fact that you are the project consultant, can you give us some behind the scenes experiences that you've had so far, and what should people look out for this Future of Work 2.0?
It's been quite an interesting journey so far. A lot has really gone on behind the scenes. There are lots of hardworking team members who have actually come together to make this possible. So as a project consultant, my overall goal is to ensure that the event runs smoothly and is a success. So that means that coordinating the events, managing the stakeholders such as the speakers, the partners, and even the attendees who will be doing what? Attending the conference on the 21st and 22nd of March. So this is one thing that I will say to anyone who is watching us right now. I will say that whether you are in a university, a graduate, or someone who is doing your national service, there is more that is going to happen during the event commencement. So I will highly encourage everyone to come and participate. There is going to be mentorship session, there is going to be workshops, there is going to be panel discussions with amazing panelists. There are going to be platforms whereby you can connect with like-minded people. There are going to be, let's say, career workshops. There are going to be CV speed dating booth whereby you can bring your CV, and one of our key stakeholders will get to review it for you and give you advices. So pretty much that is what to expect and more. And one thing interesting about Future of Work 2.0 is that our goal is not just to make it a conversational conference. Our goal is to make sure that after the conference, attendees who attend this event are able to tap into the resources that we are going to give them by creating an aftermath community whereby they can join and receive mentorship from us. They can also participate in boot camps and trainings that we have in the pipeline to give to the nation as a whole in 2025.
That sounds so good. So, Akosha, for someone who would like to attend, can you just give the details, the date, time, location, and everything?
Yeah, so it's happening at the Magashi Auditorium, GVTL Ghana Business School. So it's starting at 9:30 a.m. on 21st, which is Friday, 22nd, which is Saturday. It's a fully packed event, so I encourage everyone to be there. If you don't mind, can I give a shout out to my partners and sponsors?
You have 30 seconds, actually.
Okay, sure. So I mean, to our sponsors, we have Africa Sales Academy, We have Innovari, we have Turntable, we have FM as media sponsor. Thank you to our partners like Joy Online. We also have Tech Chef Africa, we have iSupreme, we have Giapa, Africa Discussion. I mean, there are lots. So maybe you can go on our socials, be Future of Work. You see everyone contributing to the success of the event there, and even to our speakers. I can't wait to see you, Adobea.
You can't wait to see me. Definitely, I'm going to be there as a moderator and a speaker. Please, you forgot one shout out for Geek Squad. You left us out.
No, but
Joy FM.
Yeah, Joy. I mentioned Joy, so you're part. Thank you, Adobea.
Sure. Thank you so much, Akosi, and thank you so much, Nanefa, for joining me. There you have it. It's going to be this Friday and Saturday. You don't want to miss it. Once you're a university student or anything about tech interests you, just find your way there at the location that they've shared with us. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Great. We'll be continuing with our conversation. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. MTN, everywhere you go. As I mentioned, we are going to be sharing how Ghanaian folktales and history is being put into animation. My guests will be here in a minute. Just stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
Are you ready to shape the future of cybersecurity in Africa? Sapient and Vision, a proud subsidiary of Innovari Limited, invites you to CISO, the Chief Information Security Officers Summit, which is the ultimate gathering for cybersecurity professionals. Join us for this much anticipated event on April 9th and 10th, 2025 at the Labadi Beach Hotel, Accra. This year's theme is Proven Strategies for Global Cyber Executive, Maximizing Organizational Security and Efficiency. Come and gain valuable insight, explore cutting-edge solutions, and connect with top cybersecurity experts, service providers, and innovators from all around the world. Register now for just 5,000 Ghana cedis. Early bird goes for a cool 4,800 Ghana cedis. Remember, deadline for early bird is on the 14th March 2025. You can also get a group discount for 3 or more registrations from any company. Don't miss out on this game-changing event. Visit www.thecisosummit.com or call 057-2760-472 to register today.
On the ocean, sending big waves into motion, like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion.
Welcome back. This is Geek Squad with your girl Adobea Biritwum. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. MTN, everywhere you go. Tonight we're having an interesting conversation. It's Ghana Month on Joy FM, and we are promoting a lot about our culture, a lot about our country, Ghana. And we have a group of people doing amazing things with what we have had as a Ghanaian history and folktales. And they are using this for animation. We are going to have a conversation with them, and I'm super excited about it because I have the very big boss here with me and also another member of the team. So I have with me Cecil Jones Aban. He is the CEO of Parables Animation Studios. Cecil, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Why is it because I say you're a big man? And I also have with me VT Albert Tete. He is the project director for Parables Animation Studios in Anansi Chrome Studios Tune Festival. You're welcome, Albert.
Thank you.
I'm excited about the conversation because really thinking about what you are doing and what I've seen from the app, it's just super exciting that we have this and we have our story being told, not just for the locals but globally.
Yes.
People can actually patronize. So I'm going to start first with you, Cecil. Like, what is it that inspired you to use animation in the first place as a way to tell the Ghanaian folktales and then history, like the way you're doing?
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, and a very good evening to your listeners. It's a pleasure. what actually happened was, back in those days, we used to sit by the fireside, listen to Anansi stories, and I was enjoying that in my community. And then we also got exposed to Cartoon Network contents on TV.
I remember.
So, so the Bugs Bunnies and all those cartoons, I was enjoying them. Then I thought to myself, sitting by the fireside, listening to the stories, watching cartoons. I mean, can't we repackage our fireside stories into the animated cartoons that we're watching on TV? Because I realized we were learning a lot from those contents as well, the Captain Planets and environmental. So I felt like, okay, why don't we package the folklore stories, digitalize them in a way, and then present them to the children? Because animation and cartoons are very powerful tools for education. As they are being entertained, they are learning at the same time. They're picking on cultures, they're picking on languages and all that. So that actually motivated me to start everything. And I'm actually an artist. I've loved drawing. And I moved into the cartoons. My elder brother is also an artist. But he went to the Marvel comic side. I went to the Asterix kind of thing. So so I started doing that. And then I got introduced to animation as well, which was quite interesting for me because it's more like a series of drawings. Instead of doing one, you're doing a lot of drawings. I enjoyed that a lot. So we set up the studio, Parables Animation Studio, and we started doing research, getting Anansi stories, packaging them, and converting them to animated cartoons. And so far, it's been a very interesting journey. We've done quite a lot in that space. We've moved on from doing posters to series, so many things.
Yes. I saw quite a number of them from the Koliko app. I think we'll talk more about it. So I'll come to you now, Albert. Why do you think it's important for us as Ghanaians, for us to tell this story to our children, for them to learn about our history as Ghanaians? Because like Cecil said, he was watching Cartoon Network and we could have created other stories, not necessarily Ghanaian stories, but why was there a need for the Ghanaian stories to be told?
So we basically have to tell our own stories from the African perspective because that is who we are. You are a reflection of your thoughts. You become what you think. And if we don't have representation of who we are, then it's going to be an error. Of what people are we when we don't have or we are not familiar with our roots? How then are we going to develop excellent stems that will bear that exciting and exceptional branches that will bear lasting and precious fruits? It means our roots would have to be known. And when you know your roots, if it's deeper, if it's shallow, you know whether to apply some staking to it. So you need to have a true knowledge of who you are, where you come from, and where you're going to. And these are very essential things that we need to bless the children of today with because just as I mentioned, I also was fortunate to have our grandparents telling us stories. If it's not even by the fireside, you have your coal pot and these things were coming with morals that were communicated to us. These things were also telling us health-wise it was beneficial because after eating dinner, you're not supposed to go straight into bed.
Like we're doing now.
Exactly. So it means if we're losing out on all these, we have to find a way to repackage, redesign, represent these things to the children or the people of today, the youth of today. And one of the ways to do that is using animation, using cartoons because it started from the West. They're doing it. Now we have the expertise, we have the skills to do ours. It means we don't have to wait for them to tell the story. We now have to tell the story and tell it rightly from our own perspective. So mostly I tell people that whenever the West tell of our stories and they make themselves significant in them, we heal them because they've reprogrammed our minds to believe that our ancestors, our heroes, are zeros. So we hail their heroes. Meanwhile, we have heroes in our own land. So we need to tell the stories of our heroes. We need to tell our folk tales. We need to have this representation beyond oral tradition or oral way of storytelling. And that's how come if we're going to package these things and we're going to package them very well, depicting the olden days and all that in a simple way, then animation is a vital tool, an exceptional tool to be able to package this and package it very well to present it to the youth of today so that the West will not reprogram them. We are not saying what is coming from the West is totally bad or not. We do collaborations.
They are telling their story.
They're telling their story. So we should be able to empower ourselves here. We should be able to motivate ourselves here, have investors believe in us to be able to tell our stories and tell it rightly from the African perspective. And this is authentic storytelling. So this is what has motivated us to tell our stories using animation.
I really like what you said, the fact that we want to tell our stories, because the interesting truth is that there are even certain movies about African leaders that is usually portrayed by Hollywood, like they are doing them, and question I ask myself, why is it that they are telling our stories? So that we don't have people here to ask them out. So it's a good thing that we are picking it up, that these were things that were being done in the past, but we can now put it in such a way that it's digitized. It can be accessed by almost everyone anywhere in the part of the world. It's a very good thing. So coming back to you, so let me just find out, based on the history that we've had, any historical events, have we animated any of them? Is there any that you can share with us, especially because we are celebrating Ghana month as well?
So the most recent one we've done it quite a lot, but I can talk about the 28th Crossroads, the 28th Crossroads animated movie based on that shooting incident, which plays a very significant role in Ghana's independence. So we put a fictional side to the facts that we had and created close to a feature film out of that movie. And it's a series of projects that we are having. And we decided that let's start with 28th, because 28th actually sparked everything off. So 28th is the one that we have done. It's also on the app. People can watch it. It recreates the whole event that happened on the 20th of February 1948. And so we tell the story of Sergeant Ajete, Corporal Tipo, Private Lamte, and what actually motivated them to go for the march and what happened after the march. So it's a very fun watching it, and the children get to learn a lot. I mean, things that they couldn't find in the books, they really found it in the movie. And so and at the end of the day too, they get to know that, okay, at the end of the day, the people didn't get what they wanted, but at least Ghana gained independence. That's the benefit we had from there. So that's one that we have done, and there are quite a number in the pipeline we're working on. Beside the historical ones, we are also looking at the folklore. We've done Anansi stories, quite a lot of them. We've done Anansi and the Sticky Gum. We're actually working on Anansi in the Pot of Wisdom. We've done Anansi and the Pot of Beans.
I remember those times by the fireside, watching those.
And sometimes what we try to do is we try to depict Anansi in current times. So Anansi, we know Pot of Wisdom back in the days village, but we try to modernize him so people can actually relate. We also did a theater production on that. And in that theater production, we made Anansi and the Wisdom app, just to make sure that children can identify, today's generation can identify with the Anansi stories, not just pot, where they've forgotten what the pot is, but modernized up, and they can also, something fun for them to engage in.
I keep hearing you say children. Is it only for children?
No. Animation cuts across ages. But sometimes, children are more prone to, fall in love with it. But I know I'm still grown up. I'm still watching animation because it's not something just for kids, but it's for adults. You'll be amazed at the number of older folks who are actually addicted to animation.
It's true. I know someone that is very particular. In fact, she would prefer to watch animations than an actual movie. Got it. So, I mean, based on what we have shared so far, what I just want to find out from us, you mentioned that the story of the 28th February incident, it was somehow recreated. So the question I want to find out, how do we ensure that the cultural and historical details in the animations remain very authentic? I think I can come to you on that.
Okay, so with respect to that, when it came to the 28th, the Crossroads, because that is what we've animated. We have the Christian Borg Castle there, we have the Crossroads and all. So we went there, we did the visits. We also went to University of Ghana because you need to visit the academic atmosphere to know what is academically recorded. We visited libraries to hear from them. We also visited, we were fortunate to meet Ajete's son before his passing. He also narrated his side. Then we met also the Ghana's last surviving veteran who is still being celebrated. It will be 100 years this May. We've met quite a lot of people, and there are different sides to the story. So it's like sitting down and striking the average, so that you are able to put out what wouldn't disturb any other person when it goes out. And once we've done that, so research is key to keep the details and everything intact, because when it goes out, you're going to actually reprogram the people to think to align with what is actually true. And is that what you are putting out? So research is key. There are other times you have to go there if it's to film, to have the interview with the people, is the document, the old write-ups that are there that have been recorded in libraries, in schools and all, lectures that have there that have done studies over time. So we've had those conversations to make sure that what we put in now is not something that will just come out for fun and we just want to be noted as the first to produce a feature film animated. But the research was done, and that's one of the aspects that makes the whole thing hectic. That you can, because you want to put something out, you have your skills,
with
you have
facts
your
and everything.
expertise.
Sometimes the facts are even more than what you actually anticipated. I mean, even the shooting itself, there were more facts there. But you realize that that's enough.
You want to all
we discovered so many things. How many shots were fired? I think more than 6. 6 shots were fired, and then 3 hits Ajetianan, and then there was other people they also shot. They also died. Ajetianan didn't die on the spot. He was being carried to the hospital, and he held the hands for the person carrying him. He told him, like, look, he said it in Ghana, like to the extent, like saying, it has pained me that a white man killed me. We went to fight for them. All those people were like, okay, that's enough. Let's just go with what we have. I mean, at least we are online, we're on track. Yeah. So the research is very important.
It's very important. Was there any other fact that you realized that based on what you are sharing with us, so many things, was there another thing that you found out that you just felt, it's a lot? But what are some of the facts that you found out?
I think we just have to hold on. Because that one when you mentioned, it's because academics had a
different side of the story than what the people are actually telling us. So we had to strike the average. And they said, okay, I think this is okay. And you don't do research on Google. Don't. Google won't give you enough.
Is it because it's our story, so you don't get to find them on Google?
Yeah, but no ground. I think you have to do on the ground job. Because Google is just surface scratch.
Yeah, but what is this just even bringing to mind? And it means, in a way, we need to find a way to also put our story out there. Because
documented,
yes, exactly that. Because someone is Google that they know.
Yeah.
That's where they will go to.
Yes.
And that's where probably they will have the stories that are not necessarily real and authentic. And it means there's a lot of work for us to do. It's not even just about what we are discussing. Interesting to know. So, we are talking about both children and adults benefiting. What are some of the values, or what are some of the morals of these stories that we are telling with the animations that children can pick from it? Because like you mentioned earlier, Albert, so there are certain things that we want them to pick from it, programming them in a certain way. Because there are certain movies that I watch these days and I'm asking myself, what are you teaching us with this? Like, what are you telling us? So what are some of the things that we are putting in these animations for children to pick up?
All right, so that's for Cecil.
Okay. Typically for Anansi stories, for us, parables is a picture story with a point. There must be a value in whatever story we are telling. So typically for Anansi stories, it's on greed, it's on moral levels. Things you are not supposed to do, or things you're supposed to do to mean a good citizen. When it comes to the feature films like the 28th, we do very well to inculcate our culture in there, so the children can identify with what is happening. For instance, there's language. Sergeant Ajete is not just speaking English, but he speaks the local language as well. And then, Corporal Tipo too, every language is there. There's a reflection of all those cultures. Okay. And then they'll get to see the setting. We'll make sure that the setting depicts our culture, how they live. We did research and all that. So you can easily identify, okay, this is Labadi, this is Nungwa, this is that. And how life in those areas. So it's something that they pick up, because you realize that they love to, foreign contents. They want to see things outside, but we want to let them know, look, this is Ghana, this is how we live. And then the music also, we also make sure that whatever music we put in there is a music that reflects Ghanaian music. So all those petty things are factored into our storytelling, so that at least children will learn. Aside watching entertainment, they are learning those and picking up those cultures and languages and stuff, and good languages, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. But so all those things are factored in there, and then as well as the Nancy stories where the morals are there. Morals are key for us, because we learn those morals from the by the far side, and so we want to make sure that every story that we tell, there's a moral lesson in there for the kids to learn.
It's very important that we share some key moral lessons based on the stories that we tell. Now, I hope I can come to you, Albert. I'm
the one keeping the tally check.
I want you to just walk us through the process of turning a folk tale into an animated story. What goes into that whole process?
That's the first one we started with your question. So the research that comes in, in as much as we want to tell the stories, this is oral storytelling, oral tradition. It's been passed on over the years. There are times we want to keep the story the way it is. There are times we put a touch to it. We try to modernize it, like just as you mentioned. So once we decide on what to do, everything is about research. Once we've done our researches and what we want to do, we go into scripting, researching, that you go back and forth. But once you're set with your script, then you go into your storyboarding. In your storyboard, you get to know exactly how everything is going to pan out. That's your timing, your settings, and all those things. So you get to know at your storyboard level. Once you're done with your storyboarding, then you can move straight into your main work, which is the production, which is the animation. And as you're animating, normally what's done is either, it depends on the person's style, whether you have the raw voice which you are using to guide you in your animation process, or you have the professionals coming to do their work and they are gone, so they don't come back again. Once you do that, you are done with your animation, then you go into the post-production. The post-production comes with the one who will come and do his scoring, the composition, laying your music and all those things, checking if everything is right after your animation and everything suits, creating the mood, the setting for every other scenes that you are depicting in the animation. Once you're done with that, then I think your time is up for rendering.
And then you hit the silver bet.
You go and make your money and come back home.
So typically, how long does it take from the start to the end?
Okay, so it depends on what you are doing. There's the duration you are having here. Majorly, when we're doing it here, is like what has been trending here is more of the commercials that we've been doing, if not for the in-house projects we've been doing. So if you're having like a minute commercial, you can spend like a month or two doing it, depending on the number of characters that come in, the setting, how detailed you want your settings to be, the when the voiceover people also come in, how long it takes us to do those things. So give or take a month and a half, you should have your 1 minute professionally done for you. Yeah. That's a 60 seconds done for you.
Wow.
And many people, so when you hear of the timing, they think it's all about drawing and all those, but you need to create your characters, you need to make sure you create the settings and all. You
factor in the back and forth, change this a little bit, all those things are factored in.
Interesting.
It's a whole process.
So when they come, they say the lemon like yesterday. And you always want to get it right before you start. So like you said, the storyboard stage, the scripting say get it right before you start. Because if you start and you come back and say, "Oh, change this," that's problematic.
That's a problem.
Wow.
Yeah. So we need to fix all those problems before we actually start working. Yeah.
It's
then,
very
Feature films.
To add to that, it matters for you to know. Especially people think animation is all about drawing. No, we have the script writers that come in to make sure it happens.
It's good to educate all of us.
Yeah, a feature film would have to go with the research you mentioned. So researchers are needed in the filmmaking process.
You need experts.
Experts that last time we had a meeting at the UNESCO, this came up. They're asking because they need to know your technical bits. They also need to know beyond the technical bits what other things you're doing. So these things are key. So script writers are also part of the animation world. The digital artists or the animators that are on board and all the voice-over artists that come on board, the people who do the scoring, the music, the compositions, you are also needed on board. Editors, that's the post-production. If you know how to do editing and all those things, you also need even graphic designers, because after we are done, we need someone to be able to sell. Make the poster sell for us.
Everything plays a role.
So everything,
and the marketing
department is also. It's a big world, and people. It looks like it's been compressed here in Ghana. When you talk about animation, cartoons drawing.
That's all.
Yeah, so
It's limited to cartoons,
it's
just
necessary to know that. Yeah.
All this comes in. You just mentioned the voiceover artist, and I think I listened to one of the projects, and I really enjoyed it. I was hearing kids' voices
Okay.
based on the stories that were being told.
Okay. Yeah.
Different children, and then
Yeah.
their names were indicated.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
saying this was
Yeah.
really good to
Yeah.
have them also
Engage
on.
them as well.
Exactly.
Yes,
it's
yes.
it's very good that there are projects like that which have also been done. So now let's talk about challenges. It's like I've pressed the button.
That's right.
What have been some of the challenges? It looks like there are countless challenges. The way you've all
Okay, so I think maybe
laughed.
let me start.
you
so
start
make
and
it
then
easy
you
for
come
them.
see it. Okay.
So when it comes to challenges, just as I mentioned, like that gave room to explaining what animation really means. That's one of the biggest challenge we're having. The understanding isn't there. And before we create, we need you to also be on the same page with us. So you need to understand the scope of animation. So it's like someone from a marketing department calling you that they want a commercial, and when you charge, it's like now say
Really?
1 minute, what is studio, that kind of thing. But they don't factor the other people who come to play and what they are going to make it happen. The only convenience we have is the fact that we are not moving out. We are in our studio. That's the only convenience. But it's tiring because you're supposed to create everything you can see on live set.
Wow.
So we are just repackaging it in a nice way for you in our studio, and even going beyond anything you can think about. Animation can do it for you. So once they get to understand it and put some respect on it, then rates will be meaningful, and it will bless the artist as well. And that's where the artist, in as much as the artist is passionate, it's not be passion we go chop. So we need to understand each other on that basis.
Yeah.
So it's become very difficult when you're trying to do commercial works and you're going back and forth and money comes out. You need to settle that money bits and let the artist feel free to produce exceptional works for you. So the understanding is in there, one. Secondly, with respect to the contents that have been produced over time, we try to compare to what the West is doing. And majorly I tell people that the only time you compare you compare something is to compare to complete, not to compare to compete with the person. So when we are looking to the West, we're trying to make things, we are producing our stories in our way. Yes, we are not just going to churn out anything, or we're talking about any artist in Africa or animator in Africa just produce something substandard. No, we are talking about exceptional quality work being put out. But then we'll also need to do it with our style, with our feel. So let's not be comparing what is done here in Africa with what is being done in the West. So many times we use the Japanese as a case study.
Yeah.
When they started, they were despised. They were being talked down and all those things. But they kept doing what they want to do.
Yes.
And they did it exceptionally. Today, it is globally accepted and
Very
highly
much.
well sought after and talked about,
Yeah.
because that is their style and that is how they want to communicate it. If we can accept what we're doing here, and once again, not to mean that we are going to produce something short of excellence, let us appreciate what the African animator, what the Ghanaian animator is doing, and encourage them by consuming what they have. And if it's to criticize, constructive criticism to improve their works. And that's how come we can build the industry and build it exceptionally. Because once, I always tell people, we as creatives, we are as artists, we are like preachers.
Yeah.
We are actually preachers. Because when we are preaching, it's like preaching and it's only one soul there in the church. You know how the feel is. That's why the minister keeps calling for crusade, because we need to win more souls, and it's a motivation. So how well people consume your works, that's how best you also continue to be consistent in production. But when you're producing and there is no consumer, then that passion is gradually going to die or fade out. So we need people to understand the scope, one, in the corporate space, in the consumer space. Then secondly, appreciate what we are producing and encourage us. Criticize us when you need to criticize. Applaud us when you need to applaud us. And stop the comparison. We are not competing with the West. We are actually completing our process of telling our authentic African story in Africa and in Ghana as Africans. So this is one of them.
It's
then
important.
investor. When we're talking about investors,
That
the
one cuts
investor
across
is
everywhere.
not, the investor is not interested when it comes to the things that matter here. But until we change our mindset and we believe in the dreams of people, I throw back to 10 years when marketers were Indians, Lebanese. That was when we got our first 2000. We did Ghana's first ever animated feature. I said Ghana's first. I'm consumed by that. We did Ghana's first inter-orphanage games.
Okay.
PAL Foundation. That's when we went there. We sat with the marketing manager. She's an Indian. When we told her what we are looking at and how we are starting and what she's seen that we've done, because we've already donated to so many orphanages and we are in contact with them. 2000. And back then, 10 years ago, when we talk about 2,000 Ghana cedis, it's no joke. Together with products. And they came, and it was, when I sit back and I look at it, I realize that if you sit down with an African, a black man here, a Ghanaian, telling them that you are going to do this, that person, we didn't talk. My partner, when went there, he was shocked. He said, so this be why then call we say make we come tema. We spent just 5 minutes, and she said she believes in this dream. And we continued 5 years, and we had 5 years continuing, and we had multinationals coming in to sponsor us. And it's been an amazing journey so far, with the help of someone who believes in the dream. Today, when you say with a marketer who is a Ghanaian, they are trying to even talk you out of your own idea because there is a way they do things, and they don't want to explore new ways. They don't believe in ideas. So it matters who we put in our marketing departments. It is key, and this is how come the industry has been struggling over time. There's a whole lot to say. Maybe you want to add to it.
Yeah, but I just want to touch on this. I mean, for our listeners and viewers online as well, even as we are talking about this and sharing in the spirit of Ghana Month and everything, it's about time we started supporting our own. When we come up with our visions, when we come up with ideas, we just have to check it and see and really support our own. Because like you're saying, someone can just even talk you out of what you know you can do. They will let it be like you can't do it. But we shouldn't be doing that. We rather have to be in a space of encouraging one another and
support your own. That is a major thing. Beyond support your own, which is the consumer space, we as artists, is a major thing because collaboration is the future, and the future is now.
Really, collaboration, it's one word that is really coming a lot now. It's not about this is your competitor or something. What can we do together? It's very, very important now.
I tell people, when you watch the movies, it's Sony in collaboration with Disney or something, or Marvel, that kind of thing, because they've realized that if I have 2 million followers, he has 30 million followers, and we collaborate, they are coming to watch he makes his money. So if you have 30, I have 15, that is 45 million.
That's it.
And that's how come they continue to boast when they go back. They say box office, this is what I've made. They realize that we can make more when we come together to produce. It doesn't mean that will make me sit back and not be able to produce as an individual. But let's be able to collaborate and do. When it's time to do my individual work, let me also do. And even if you are not on board, you can still come on board to help me market it and make it a success. Because the space, the consumers are ready to consume. Why then would we become selfish as creators to be creating in our own ways? And that is what is even delaying us producing a whole lot consistently in Africa, because there are not many that are exceptionally doing it. And to be able to do more, we should collaborate to be producing more and be able to nurture the new ones to come on board, and we can expand. But we are not doing that. So it looks like we keep running in circles.
It's very, very important what is being discussed. I know we're talking about how we are telling our Ghanaian history and folk tales through animation. Yes. I mean, these are some of the challenges that have come up, and it's important that we support our own. Not just from the consumer side, but even from
within ourselves.
Exactly, from the community, the people producing. We have to check and do this. I don't know whether there's any challenge you like to add on. He said almost everything. He said almost everything. Okay, so let me ask: are there other people in your space doing the same thing?
Oh yes, there are quite a number of people doing the same thing.
Okay.
And so there's also an animated association which is putting all those people together.
Okay.
And we were surprised to know that we had about 120. The platform, we had about 126 animators.
Wow.
And animators is not just those doing the character animation, but those doing visual effects, sound effects. There are a host of them out there. So there are quite a number of people doing great works. Yeah.
So we can tell that the industry is growing.
Yes, we can do that. We can do that. But I think that the industry will grow when we move away from telling short stories, I mean 2 minutes, 3 minutes, into moving into feature films, which is why we did the 28th and we collaborated with Animation Africa. Yes, they are one of Animation Africa is one of the studios. So as long as we continue to produce those feature length, people want to come to the cinema and watch stuff. So if it's just 5 minutes, I mean, it doesn't make that much presence. But once we move into the feature films and consistently we are producing, it means that it's about visibility. We need to be visible out there, and visibility means that we have to produce and keep producing. Once we keep producing, production going on, the visibility will come, and the patronage will also follow, and then we'll also grow.
I'll be coming to you again, Albert. I want to know more about the Anansi Chrome Studio Tune Festival. Yes, I'll be coming to you contending. Now, this is Geek Squad with your girl Adobea Biritwum. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. MTN, everywhere you go. I'm having the conversation with Cecil Jones Aban, CEO of Parables Animation Studios, and VT Albert Tete. He is the project director for Parables Animation Studios and Anansi Chrome Tune Festivals. CISO Summit 2025. Attention, all cybersecurity professionals, CISOs, information security, audit compliance, and IT experts. Sapient Envision, a proud subsidiary of Innovari Limited, invites you to the CISO Summit 2025, the ultimate gathering for cybersecurity professionals. Join us on the 9th and 10th of April 2025 at the Labadi Beach Hotel, Accra. This year's theme is Proven Strategies for Global Cyber Executives, Maximizing Organizational Security and Efficiency. Don't miss out on the chance to gain valuable insights, explore the latest cybersecurity trends, and network with top experts from around the globe. Register now for just 5,000 Ghana cedis or grab the early bird rate of 4,800 cedis before 14th of March 2025. Group discounts are available for 3 or more registrations from a company. To register, partner, or become an exhibitor, visit www.thecisosummit.com or you can call the number 0572 760 472. 0572-760-472. You can call that number to secure your spot today. This is Geek Squad with your girl Adobea Biritwum. We are discussing the topic bringing Ghanaian folktales and history to life with animation. So coming back to my guests, Cecil and Albert. Albert, I want you to talk about Anansi Chrome Tune Festival. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Okay, so Anansi Chrome Tune Festival, it was birthed, that was 2 years ago. That's when it started. It's a journey, a 10-year journey. So for 10 years, we've been telling stories using animation and also live on stage enacting these very stories because we needed to bring back the feel for the by the fireside. So we've been doing that as Parables Animation Studios at the Silverbird Cinemas for 10 years. So 10 years coming, it was really a fight of faith when we were trying to conceptualize it, because it was a big thing. If you say you are going into festivals, you were doing what was suitable and convenient for you. So yeah, we sat down and we were able to map out, and it became Ghana's first ever cartoon festival, having animations, having traditional games, face painting, animation workshop, voiceover contest, and all those things. So a whole lot of things happening concurrently. Then we go straight into the night of storytelling, which is time with Anansi live on stage, and that is what we've been doing at the Silverbird for 10 years.
Okay.
But we needed to open up because the numbers have grown over time, and we've been packing there 2 shows in a day, and it's been amazing. So there was a time where should be 5 years ago, when Aquaman was premiering, and Anansi was also premiering.
That's nice.
Anansi taught Aquaman a lesson. So that was where the managers there felt like, it's about time they focus on animation being created in Africa and Ghana specifically. So imagine if people. It's not like they came to meet Anansi. They bought tickets to go and watch Aquaman, and Anansi taught Aquaman a lesson. So they had to drop that ticket and buy tickets for time with Anansi live on stage. And this has been some of the motivational factors, even though it's been challenging in the journey. So when we started with Anansi Chrome Toon Festival being Ghana's first cartoon festival 2 years ago. Then last year it became Africa's International Cartoon Festival because we were able, when we started, the other Africans showed interest and they are also doing marvelously well, just like the spotlight is not on them. So we received over 100 entries, submissions from over 10 African countries, and we're able to exhibit their works. We were able to bring some of them in. Kind courtesy support from Swiss Embassy. We also had Indomie Ghana support in us and all. So it's been a lovely journey, and even after the festival, we still had other African animators and cartoonists sending in their works. Even yesterday, I received another work in the email, and it's been amazing. So this is how it's been so far. So it's an animation festival, a cartoon festival, open to all Africans across the globe, and even to the West. If you have anything, you are telling a story, which is an African story, we have a representation there, and the story is worth telling, you can submit to the festival, and we're going to make that happen.
Great. Let me just find out from you. So, with all the stories you're telling about Anansi, I know those times Anansi never played any good role. From what do we have Anansi doing something good now?
Yes, Anansi does good stuff. Anansi does good stuff. So, one of the stories that we told to the children had to do with Galamsey, where Anansi solved the Galamsey problem.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, and we had to use Anansi in a positive light. he has a good side, he has a bad side, but most of the time, when you mention Anansi, your eyebrows moves like, okay, this is a bad guy. But no, Anansi is being used in a positive light as well.
It's good that we are
balancing it. Yes, there's a mischief in all of us at some point. Anansi is a reflection of all of us, but there's a good side. So that particular story used that platform to teach them about water pollution and how Anansi solved that problem for the community, and they were very, very super excited.
Okay.
And creating of the World Wide Web.
He created the World Wide Web.
That's good to know. But for someone listening to us, where can they get this? For me, I know I've downloaded the app, but let's just talk a bit about it. So
what we've done is to create this platform called Koliko Plus, which hosts most of our contents, not just our content, but other animators from Ghana, other Ghanaian animators, and other foreign contents. So we have animated movies. We are hosting animated movies. We also have books, e-books. We also have wallpapers and activity pages for kids as well. Anytime I mention kids, I remember
we understand.
It's not just for kids.
Yes, we understand.
So we have all the movies out there. They can it's available on Play Store and App Store as well. So it's free.
Koliko
Plus, and it's a free app. There are in-purchases that you have to do. There are some for free, some too. When you're buying it, you're supporting us because it's a way we can also generate funds to continue doing what we're doing. So even if you're not interested, just buy it.
I understand.
Yes, so it's out there, and it has a lot of good stuff that we hope will keep children occupied, adults occupied as well, and contents that you can trust, authentic African stories. So the 28th Crossroad is there as well.
Okay.
And most of our Nancy stories are all there, and you can just download it and enjoy.
Thank you so much for joining me, gentlemen. Cecil and Albert, thank you so much for joining me this evening and sharing what you are doing with Koliko Plus. A very big thank you to you for listening in, and a big thank you to my producer, Prince Safo, and the entire team. God willing, next week we will be back. Up next is news. Stay tuned.